Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. You find a way to win or you find a way to lose, and you can find yourself going into a $1, $2, $3, $10 million payday if you play yourself right. Look, man, they're next. Baumgardner and Shadesha Green. The MVP cash out. They got fighters, man. They are grooming and building them the right way to become global superstars to a Jake Paul, MVP Promotions, Shadesha Green, Alicia Bombgardner, all of the women can cash out every time they fight. I'm telling you, that's the plan. You can sit back and look at how they're going about it, especially with the event taking place at Madison Square Garden on 17 April, where Baumgardner is facing her Korean opponent. Baumgardner, I think she's half Korean. But the bottom line is how they're trying to how they put that fight together, what they're trying to do to get Baumgardner to kind of tap in to that Korean fan base if she can beat the Korean opponent. Now with Shadesha Green facing Lanai Daniels, again, if she can come in and do the business against Lanai Daniels is how they're trying to build up that fight for Shadesha and Claressa Shields. You know she knocks out Lanai Daniels. That's what they're going to talk about. Shadesha fought Lanai, Claressa fought Lanai. She struggled with her, couldn't find her, win a distance. Shadesha knocked her out. So all of this is being backed by MVP Jake, led by Jake Paul. And I think we got to understand the real story is just about the future $1 million paydays that these women are going to start receiving. It's coming. I'm telling you right now. Like for Alicia Bombgardner in her fight at Madison Square Garden, she can make upwards of like $850,000 for that fight, based on the analysis that I did the other day. So you got to understand, there's not just a fight card taking place on the 17th of April. You got to look at what Jake Paul and MVP, what they're doing, the way they're trying to manufacture these women into international phenoms. The women already have names in boxing. Are they household names? I would say no. But they're going that direction. Now with ESPN, which almost everybody has ESPN and Netflix, I mean, everybody has that. Diehard sports fans have ESPN. So they're going to be in a lot more households than they used to being in. And the two fighters are going to be front and center. You know what I'm saying? Now, they have a whole stable of fighters over there, but the two right now who seem to be really getting the strong push is Baumgardner and Green. Now, Baumgardner, I think that's the face that everybody in boxing is expecting to go on to become the face of women's boxing. But I think that's the face that MVP is betting on. The whole hooks and looks slogan sounds pretty good. She does throw hooks, and she does look like a fitness model. She's in very good shape, so she has that fitness model kind of look as far as her physique. But she has belts, was undisputed, dropped one belt because she won 3-minute rounds. That is something that someone like Claressa Shields has not done. She hasn't fought 3-minute rounds. So you got to put some respect on Baumgardner's name. Also, the other women who fought 3-minute rounds, especially Amanda Serrano. Baumgardner has personality. She has marketability. Seems to be international appeal there. But this fight is more to me about reestablishing dominance and momentum. Now, what's at stake? For Baumgardner, she's got to win. But not just win. She's got to get in there and do the business. You know what I mean? She has to prove that she is elite. You know, she went working with Tony Harrison, over there with Derek James now, and she can't have any layoffs. She has to stay active. Got to stay out of the controversy, a while back. Little ups and downs back there with her and Adrian Broner and, a little bit of shit with Claressa Shields, but she got to stay out of that. You know what I mean? And really work on expanding her brand globally. I think she can do it and become an MVP's flagship female superstar. Now, if she keeps her nose clean and does the business and follow the game plan and stick to the script, I think she can do all that. So with the money trajectory with Alicia Bombgardner, I think for this fight, it looks like she can make between $500,000 and $850,000 based on the numbers and everything I looked at with ESPN. And I did a whole analysis on it. But I'll tell you this, her next fight for sure, depending on how this goes, she could be in that $1 million range territory. At the end of the night, when all the, well, I ain't gonna say the end of the night. After a couple of days, man, we see how the cards fall and sponsorships, endorsement deals, ticket sales, the whole thing with the money. I think it's 1.5 and 3 million, man, that's being paid for a fight by ESPN. The bottom line is, she could get into that $1 million, purse territory, 1 million plus. You know what I'm saying? Because she becomes she's already the headliner, but then she becomes a headliner. She's a champion, and they're going to keep marketing and promoting her. And as long as people, she's putting butts in seats, and they're stacking the cards the way they are, I don't see why they can't get there. No, for Shadesha Green. This is the breakout moment right here. This is the fight. And her position is a little bit different from Baumgardner's. She's skilled, dangerous, but she's still building that mainstream recognition. But she's getting there. But what's at stake for her? Look, this is the arrival fight. She wins this, she's like, I'm here. She knocks out Lanai Daniels, she's like, I'm here. Lets the whole world know. Now, if she wins impressively, I'm telling you, she becomes a serious name when female boxing, which she already is. But, she really becomes a big name. And the pressure on Claressa Shields for that fight, it's already there. Everybody wants to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? So she's already into the big fight conversations. But if she gets in here and knocks out Lanai Daniels, that's all it's going to be about. There's going to be so much pressure on Claressa Shields to make that fight that Claressa Shields is going to have to make a decision. It is not going to be any I'll fight Shadesha in 2028 because I'm going to do something else different in 26 and 27. I'm taking time off because I want to go and have a little Pap Jr. Nah, she's going to have to fight Shadesha immediately. And I think there's going to be a big money jump for Shadesha, depending on how she does in this fight, whether she fights Claressa or not. But I think she's climbing, boy. The statement win. After this fight, next purse, talking about, 500 to 850,000. Massive leap. People pay for knockouts. If you're a knockout artist and she just has to get in there and do the business, you're going to see her make huge money. Huge money. It's going to be a massive leap. Especially if she could lock in that Claressa Shields mega fight. People don't want to talk about it, but on my channel, we talk about it. And that's the thing. Some of these guys, they don't want to talk about women's boxing. They're worried about their subscribers. That shit's stupid. It's boxing, isn't it? If I want to talk about milking goddamn goats, milking cows, milking sheep, I'll talk about it. I used to do that shit as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But this is a boxing channel. If I talk about milking a goddamn cow or a goat or a sheep, why would I talk about women's boxing, Because that's the mega fight. Claressa Shields and Shadesha Green. That's the one right there. If MVP builds this right, that fight becomes a guaranteed for Shadesha. That's a guaranteed $1 million plus payday for Shadesha. You know what I mean? Her and Claressa get in the ring and they promote a fight. You got to understand, Claressa Shields, she's a global name. Green, she's got a name, but she's a rising threat. And the narrative is going to be, dominance versus challenger. Claressa Shields, she's done nothing but dominate opponents. And then Shadesha's the challenger, who presents a very real threat. And here's the key. Here's the key. MVP isn't just building fighters. They're building future super fights. 100%. You got to look at how they're going about, how they're approaching marketing these women. They are building super fights. And I wouldn't be surprised if they now go and take these women, depending on what they do next, and have them go fight over in the UK against a British opponent, It's all smart business. But the master plan, now I don't know if this is Jake Paul's vision, Nikisa's vision, I don't know whose vision this is. But I think, and I'm trying to break this down clearly, right? That Jake Paul and MVP are investing long term. They're not thinking one fight at a time, fill up as many seats as possible. Nah. They're thinking, how do we create $1 million women fighters consistently? That's what they're doing. They want to have $1 million women fighters consistently, and multi-million-dollar profited events consistently. So the blueprint seems to be more exposure. The venues like MSG, although they're doing the theater, 5.7 thousand, but it's a high visibility event. When people hear MSG, they think something big, an extravaganza, high visibility. So that gives them the exposure. Personality and branding. Let their fighters show personality. Talk to them, groom them, make sure they kind of know what to say, what not to say. Watch the profanity. Definitely don't be out here talking about N-word this, N-word that. Shit a lot of male fighters do, and to me that's just a tragedy, because that's an instant turnoff, and it's not going to help grow their profile at all. It may do it for the ghetto birds and shit, but it ain't going to do it for the people that can really put serious money in their pocket. So let them show their personality and build fan connection beyond boxing, you know? Then you look at the strategic matchmaking. They know what they're doing with the matchmaking. You look at who they put in the ring with Alycia. You look at who they put in the ring with Shadesha. It's quite obvious to me that there's some smart people behind the scenes. But they want to build confidence. They want to build highlight moments. Avoid derailments early. And then the paydays. They want to normalize women's earnings. 500,000 plus, 1 million plus. You know, they're trying to make sure that they figure it out to where their women can make, and it's not just their women who are going to benefit, but all women, especially theirs, can make that 500,000 per fight, $1 million per fight, especially champions. So the end game could be women headlining consistently, equal draw power, global crossover stars. And they may get there. So what could go wrong? Because right now I'm talking about everything working out, right? There's always the potential for some shit to go wrong. Let's be real. If Baumgardner struggles, the momentum slows. Star power dips. If Shadesha loses, delay in the breakout, big fight gets pushed back, probably won't happen at all. So there's a lot of pressure on these women to get out there and do the business. That's why this card is a high pressure card. A lot of expectations. The women got to hit grand slams because MVP is investing heavy into these outcomes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just a fight night. It's a business move to create the next $1 million women stars in boxing. So if Baumgardner and Green both win, tell you, especially hit grand slam, both get knockouts, MVP hits a perfect night. And the result is bigger fights, bigger purses, bigger global attention. And that's going to be good for us boxing fans. Create $1 million women fighters. And I think it all starts on 17 April. They're about to cash out, turning these fighters into superstars and changing women's boxing forever. Outstanding. Keep cool, I'm in the breeze.